This is going to be part 8 of the Mark II 18T build, and in this video we're going to be installing your Mark IV 18T engine harness. Then we're going to be installing your plug and play adapter harness. Then I want to quickly talk about downpipes. Okay, so I've been really racking my brain on how I want to do this install of the wiring for the third and last time. So I already have 2 videos on this. The first one is okay. The second one, me and Jeremy did a pretty good job. I'll have those links down below. And so, you know, I'm still getting questions on wiring for this 18T engine. I wanted to try to explain this as clearly as possible. So the best thing I came up with is, you know, go pull your engine harness yourself. That is the best way you're going to learn, you know, how this is supposed to go into the car. It's the same way. And, you know, I didn't do that with the first video and second video. You know, I didn't know how this sat in the Mark IV 18T engine bay. So recently I went and I pulled one, and it's the exact same way we're putting it in. You know, I never understood why this cover was on these plugins, you know, and how this is sitting, how I have this set up right here. This is exactly how you pull it out of a 18T Mark IV car. You know, this part wraps around and then it goes onto the engine over here. Then this part up here is in the rain tray where the ECU is, and then this part sits right on the driver's side, and all these plugins right here just plug right down onto the CE2 box down here. And then this wire, it goes to the O2 sensor. This is the exact same way we're going to be installing it into our Mark II 18T. You know, so all we have to do is delete that plastic cover, then that we're pushing it through the hole to our CE2 box. This is going to get laid out into the bay to the engine. That is still in the rain tray. And then this we're going to be putting down to our exhaust. Okay, so we have the Mark IV engine harness. Now all that's going into the Mark II is right here. Like from this on, all this is in the Mark II. Now this on the outside, all this is going to be sitting in the bay. So all we need next is a plug and play adapter harness. So, and this is the harness that I'll have links down below that you can buy. From the Mark IV harness, it's color coded. You just color code, plug them in. All this stuff is inside. And then the harness, the adapter, you just plug these in to your CE2 box. And I'll link the video right here where we took out the engine harness from the Mark II. Where you took that out, you plug these right in. So you'll already have 3 missing. So you just plug that right into there. You know, and if you take this out of a Mark IV, you're gonna know exactly, you know, how this goes. It really opened my eyes when I did that. It really helped me out a lot. So, you know, the only thing coming from the plug and play adapter harness that goes into the engine bay that you're shoving through the hole are these 2 wires right here. And you're plugging those in to the Mark IV harness. And I'll show you that when we get there. So I know this looks scattered, but we have the Mark IV engine harness, the plug and play adapter, and then your CE2 box. Okay, so now we're going to pick up the Mark IV engine harness and we're going to set it in the car. So I'm just going to pick it up, drag it over. So look, this is going back here. We're going to cut that off and shove it through. This goes up here in the rain tray. This is going to stay over here because we got to, this is staying over here. We got to hide all this stuff, plug it in. Okay, I know this looks like a complete mess, but now we're going to cut this off and we're going to shove this line with these plugins through the top hole right to here. And then we have this one this is going into the rain tray. So when we shove this in, then this we're gonna shove through one of these holes up here. This is gonna be up here. This is for the ECU in the rain tray. This wire is going, this is going to be going down below to our O2 sensor. And then this one right here, all these wires that we have right here, some connect to the battery, some go on to the Mark IV engine harness. Okay, so I got the plastic cover off. I just cut the rubber on it, then I just ended up cutting the plastic. So that's off. So now, all I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna be shoving these plugs through the top hole. Okay, so now that we have that part of the Mark IV harness, all the plugins are inside. Okay, so now what I am going to do is I'm gonna shove all of these wires, because this is for the ECUs. I like to have it up here in the rain tray. There's a plug, there should be a hole right here. I'm gonna, see? Now I'm gonna shove all this wiring with the O2 sensor and the ECU plug-in up this hole. So I like my ECU sitting right here. There's a lot of other ways to do this that people, you know, put their ECUs in different locations. You know, so I'm gonna put even this wire with the O2 sensor. All of it's gonna go up here. I'm gonna put it along the rain tray and then probably drill a hole on the other side so my O2 sensor will go down to where the sensor is. So I have my harness. You know, those plugs that go down to the ECU are in the hole. And then this wire that has the ECU plug, I have it up here right where the ECU is gonna go. And then this wire is coming along here. And then later I'll drill a hole somewhere right here so my my plug-in to the O2 sensor will come down here and then go down there to the exhaust. And lastly, the only part of the Mark IV engine harness that we have in the bay is sitting right here on this side. So now we're going to take the plug and play adapter. Okay, so now we're in the car and we have our plug and play adapter. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do is the plugs that we just pushed through, we're gonna wanna pull those, get them out of the way, because on your harness, these two plugs we have to push through. Okay, so now that we have that part of the adapter harness pushed through the hole, we have left is the three connectors that are going into your CE2 box. And I'll put the link up again where we showed what engine harness you're taking out of the stock Mark II. You know, you have three that are gone right here. So these three push right into here and make sure you unlock it first. And then these push right into here. Then on your other part of the adapter harness, you have color-coded plugins. These are going to be plugged in to the color codes up there. And you know, when you're trying to put this up here, make sure you kind of just look at the orientation of where the CE2 box is going and where this is to just put it up there as nicely, neatly as you can, because you're going to be moving the CE2 box, pushing it back up where it goes. So just try to organize everything to, you know, nicely fit in here. And then, so if you have one of these on your harness, this is for if you're using like a Mark III cluster or any other cluster. It sends a signal to your cluster. But since I'm using the Mark II cluster, I don't need this. One other thing is, if you have this on your adapter harness, this is for your clutch pedal. The sensor on that, you can plug this right into the Mark IV sensor that will be on your pedal assembly. And then the last thing that we have on this adapter harness is your OBD2 port. You know, this is for, you know, getting codes. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is turn here, and I'm going to plug in to the CE2 box first, and I'm going to unlock it. So if you hear that snap, pull that out a little bit, it unlocks all these. So try not to like pull them all out now. So, and then, you know, they go into one spot. You can't get this wrong. Okay, so once you hear it snap in, you can go ahead and lock it again. If it locks, you know they're in correctly. So mine snapped in, it's locked. Next, we're going to be plugging in these plugins to the ones we pushed through the firewall. Okay, and the last one is this blue one. And it should come with your harness, but if you don't, you can pull this from a Mark IV car, which I did. This one, we're going to plug in right here. And then with your drive-by wire throttle pedal, this plugs into the top of your pedal. All right, so we got that plugged in. All those are plugged in. Now it's just rearranging everything so we can turn this around, put it back where it goes. So that's pretty much, and there you go. So there it is with the CE2 box up and out of the way. Your OBD port over here out of the way. Make sure, I'm gonna come back later and, you know, push all these wires up here, make it nice and neat up there, as neat as you can with all those wires up everywhere. But for now, that is good. We have everything plugged in, good to go. Okay, so we're gonna be moving back to the engine bay now. So we have our Mark IV harness that we set along here. Now we have the plug and play adapter harness coming in the middle. And now we have the rest of the Mark IV engine harness here. So I'm just gonna show you a couple of plugins and how easy this is. And then you can, you know, figure out the rest. There's a ton of different ways people do this. So if you look at this plugin right here, this goes up to the ECU, obviously. So you wanna take this and you can route it, you know, close to the engine. People route it over here, sometimes just have all their wires here. Some people tuck their wires in the wheel well. So there's a ton of different ways to do this. So I'm just gonna show you a couple of the plugins. So, you know, this is going up to the ECU. So obviously I'm gonna run this through the hole up here, but for right now, I'm just gonna set it here. Okay, so now we have that over there. So, I don't know, let's take the adapter harness that we put in here. Okay, so it has two plugins. So if you look at this plugin, you know, there's coming off the other harness here. Oh look, coming from the alternator. Look at that, plugs in. I'll route this somewhere later. Let's take the other one. That's a big plugin. You know, there's only one other one that looks like that. Once you're, you know, you gotta spend some time in here and you gotta look at some of the connections. So our adapter harness, this is coming off the Mark IV harness. These are big. There's no other plugins that are this big, you know. Bam, plugged in. Okay, so now, all right, so here is our harness. And if you see this, like this is obviously for the map. I think it's kind of close, so look, plugs in, bam, easy. And you know, all these other little ones, they're only gonna plug into one spot, you know, like, I'll grab another one. So let's just grab this one. What does this go to? So this is so this is going, and a lot of people will go through and they'll delete stuff that you don't need on these harnesses. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to show you some of the plugins. So you have these two plugins. I'm guessing this harness will wrap around somewhere this way. So this wraps this pretty far over here. Let's see if it goes into our power steering pump. Bam! Goes in our power steering pump. So I know this is going to need to be wrapped, you know, somewhere close in here, under the engine going over there or something. I might not even need that, I don't know. Okay, there is one thing I want to make clear, and make sure you plug it in. This is, you know, this, if you don't plug this in, this has gotten so many people weeks and weeks without their engine starting. The symptom is it'll just turn over, and it'll keep turning over. You'll check fuel, you'll have fuel. You'll check spark, you'll have spark. You know, and it'll just keep turning over, keep turning over. There is a purple and black wire coming from the Mark IV engine harness. This purple and black wire with this plug. There's another, the engine harness that we put in, there's another plug. It will have different colors. I've seen different colors being on this plug. If you don't plug these two engine wiring together, this engine harness, if you don't plug this together, your engine will not start. And I've had countless people ask me, and Jeremy has had the same thing. This is probably the most common thing. People don't understand that you need to plug these two harnesses together to get your engine to start. And you know, everything else, I need to route all this. Okay, a little sit rep here. A couple of hours later, I have routed and then took it all back out and then rerouted, and I still am not happy. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna, you know, take this one off. This is the last one I have right here. That's going up to here. Take that out and just put everything over here like my 24 valve. But yeah, I've been going back and forth with it, and you know, it does look better when you have all these wires, you know, in close to the engine and transmission, but then some things you can't get to the battery, some things don't plug into each other. So just gonna run everything right here again, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so now that we have the wiring all connected, and I don't have mine routed yet, but it's all connected. So this is your stock downpipe, and this one does fit using the same brackets that I did, and you can actually just turn this on the turbo and it fits even better with the O2 sensor not hitting anything. But this is the $50 downpipe that everyone, you know, usually gets on eBay, unless you want to pay the $250 to $300 for the, you know, the companies that make the ones for the Mark II 1.8T. You know, if they fit right in there, buy that one. That one's gonna be your best bet, because this one, you do have to modify it. You know, you have to heat it up and hit it, or you can cut it and weld it on there. I wanted to do it how, you know, someone that doesn't know a welder, doesn't have a welder. Wow. So yeah, this one does fit on there, and you know, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I don't think I'm gonna use it. Is it safe? It does. It's not touching, but you know, all that heat's gonna be so close to the car and everything. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but yeah, we'll put this one on so I can show you kind of where it's sitting. Okay, so now that we have the downpipe on there, and I really don't think I'm going to be using it that long. I might just keep it on there to start it up, maybe, you know, move it around a little bit until I can get a regular downpipe, like probably from a company that actually makes it for the Mark II, because you know, it's pretty much so close to the body and the shift lines. Like I just don't really think it's safe. So you know, if you guys are looking to get a downpipe, don't get the $50 one. It's not a good option. You're gonna have to have someone customize it for you. So just run the stock downpipe. That one will work if you're using the same brackets I am, or just buy the $250, $300 one from the company that makes it for the Mark II with a 1.8T. Okay, so now that we have the downpipe in, and I'm gonna start working on the intercooler. So what I'm using is just a kit off of eBay. I think it was like $150 for all this intercooler piping and with this small intercooler. My first time doing this, so as previous videos, I'm using the Audi TT top piece here, and I had to order a little adapter for the smaller turbo to this piece, and then this is also from the Audi TT. It's kind of a weird bend going down to here. So then I have it kind of coming down, and then my intercooler will be right in front here, and that's what I've been doing for the past like 3 hours, is just kind of measuring and measuring and measuring again, because I want to make sure my intercooler is you know, lined up. So I just drilled 2 holes here, and then I'm gonna make a bracket that comes down here and holds my intercooler you know, right in the middle. And gonna be it for this video, guys. This wiring video, I'll put the links down below and right here of the other wiring videos we already have. We even slower in that video explaining how to put the plugs in, take them out and everything. I'll have a link down below where you can buy the plug and play harness for the VR6 24 valve or the 1.8T. About the downpipes, I would not buy that $50 downpipe for your Mark II 1.8T unless you have somebody modify it. Buy the one that actually companies make for the Mark II 1.8T, like $250, $300, but you're not gonna have to deal with anything that I had to do to get this even remotely to fit. So I'm not gonna keep it on there. I'm just gonna use it for now to start the engine up and probably move it around a little bit, but I have to get something else. It's just not gonna work. It's way too high up, and I don't think it's that safe either. So as you can see, the progress, I was just trimming some of the bumper, some of the metal part of the bumper also, and yeah, I'm really tired. I was in here for 2 days straight, got a lot of progress done, pretty stoked, and now I'm pretty much just waiting for parts again that I didn't know I needed. So yeah, waiting for them, and pick it up when they get here, I guess. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this helps somebody. I'll see you next video.